Hello guys, and welcome to the 4th episode of Furi Boss Guides. In this episode we'll be covering the 4th boss. His name is the Scale. Let's get right into it. In the first phase, his main attack is a charged laser. He charges it for a bit, then fires 5 lasers at you in an arc. It's pretty simple to dodge and you can punish him really easily afterwards. Keep in mind that if you charge your ranged attack, you can destroy one of the lasers, preventing the trail from appearing. You can do this for all these lasers, not just these ones, which is really handy to keep in mind for the next phases. He also has another attack where he runs to the center of the arena and charges 3 waves of lasers all around the arena. Keep in mind that, as I stated previously, you can destroy the lasers with your charged ranged attack. He also has a melee combo. It's a 3-hitter and the catch is in the second hit, as it is much slower than the other 2 ones. This should do it for the first main phase. Let's get right into the melee phase. In the first melee phase, he has 2 sets of AoE attacks. One of them is much faster, but with larger safe zones, while the other one is slower, but with smaller safe zones. He also has a 2-hit melee combo that should be pretty simple to dodge due to his simple timings. Keep in mind that sometimes he will also counter your melee attacks with one single hit of his own. It's pretty fast, so keep that in mind. This should do it for the first melee phase. Let's get right into the second main phase. His main attack in the second phase is this charged attack again, but instead of being 5 spread shots, it's just one shot that spreads into this arced curve that you can see here. He will also retain the attack where he goes into the center of the arena, but instead of being straight lasers, the lasers now still curve. As you see here, remember that you can shoot the lasers to destroy the trails. Also, keep in mind that whenever he does this charged attack in the center of the arena, if you just take the time to continuously fire regular bullets at him, you can deal a large chunk of damage to him. As you saw there, I dealt half of his HP in damage just by continuously firing at him. This should do it for the second main phase. Let's get into the second melee phase. In this melee phase, he will have changed considerably the shape of his AoE attacks, and they will deal a lot of damage, so you have to be really careful when dodging them. Apart from that, he still has the same 2-hit melee combo that he had before, so if you nail that dodge, you should get by this phase without any problems. In this next phase, he will sometimes go underwater and reappear with one melee hit. If you let him do this 3 times, the third hit will now be a 2-hitter. His main attack in this phase will now be a charged attack where he runs away from you, charges for a bit and sends a shockwave all around the arena. Keep in mind that when he reappears, he sends those 3 lasers through the ground, so if you are too close to him, you might get hit. Once again, he will have one charge attack in the middle of the arena, but this time you will be invulnerable, so shooting him continuously will no longer work, but the attack will now be 3 shockwaves that cover the entire arena that you have to dodge through. Also, sometimes when he goes underwater, he will not pop out with a melee attack, he will just grab you and you have to do that small QTE. Don't worry, it's intended and you won't take any damage. Again, this should do it for this main phase, so let's get right into the melee phase. In this melee phase, the AoE shapes will remain the same as before, but he will now send 4 waves of it and not just 2. He will also retain the attack where he goes underwater and then triggers a QTE. He will also do a shockwave attack where he charges, dives and sends a circular shape all around that area. Lastly, he gained a new melee combo. It's a 2-hitter where he dives, pops really fast and then hits you 2 times. This should do it for this melee phase. Let's get into the next main phase. In this main phase, his new attack will be a charged laser that then splits into 6 other ones. Again, remember that you can destroy one of the lasers with your charged attack. If you time it right, you can even destroy the main laser, which won't spawn any other sub-lasers. Another new move he gained is this move where he will go underwater and spawn 6 copies of him. This can come in 2 varieties. In the first variety, all the clones will shoot a fast-moving laser right towards you. To destroy the clones, you just have to go to each one of them and hit him twice. Keep in mind that your melee attacks will not stagger the clones, so if they are charging their attack, you have to dodge, you can't stop it. In the second clone variety, they will shoot much slower moving lasers, but they will now scatter into 3 curved ones. The procedure is just the same. You have to dodge the lasers and hit each clone twice to destroy him. Lastly, he will have gained a new melee combo. It's a 4 hit with some simple timings. It's like a 1-2, 1-2 hit. This should do it for this phase. Let's get into the next melee phase. In this melee phase, you will have 2 new melee combos. The first one is a 2-hitter with some pretty fast hits. The second one is a 3-hitter, but the third hit is not a melee hit, it's just an AoE attack right in front of him. That's all he'll do in this melee phase, so let's get right into the second to last main phase. This main phase, his charged attack will now be a scatter shot, and this attack has one pretty large advantage. Unlike the previous ones that you could not charge through, with this one you can just charge your melee attack and charge right through the bullets hitting him. You will still have his clone attack, once again coming in 2 varieties. The first variety, all the clones will dive, sending a shockwave all through the arena. In the second variety, all the clones will send scatter shots all through the arena. You can try and dodge them, or alternatively, you can charge your melee attack and go right through the bullets. In this melee phase, you will now have a 4-hit combo, where the first 2 ones are melee hits and the last 2 ones are AoE attacks. Keep in mind that the AoE attacks that he does in the end have fairly small safe zones, so you should try and interrupt him before he gets to that. This is his only new move, so without further ado, let's get right into the last phase. The last phase will start with him shooting a lot of destructible bullets towards you, so you can easily just shoot towards him and destroy the bullets. Also, keep in mind with the shockwaves that he throws on the ground, you have to dodge through them. He eventually will send lasers through the arena that will leave the trails until the phase is over. So, one little cheesy way that you can use to get through this phase is just get hit by the bullets on purpose. This way the trails will be cut in half, giving you more room to maneuver. This is important because, as you can see, you will also start sending shockwaves all through the arena, so the less room you have to walk around and try and dodge, the more damage you are bound to take. This, in my opinion, is one of the hardest phases of the entire game, so it might take a few tries until you get it right. As you saw, eventually all the laser will disappear, he will try and hit you with a melee combo, you just have to hit him once and the phase will be over. Once again guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.